Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Catholic 101. My name is Kathy Allen. I'm a parishioner at Our Lady of Miraculous Medal, and usually this time of year I'm busy preparing for the May crowning of Our Lady's statue at church. Mrs. Impastato asked me to share a few thoughts with you about our Blessed Mother and explain why we honor her by crowning her statue. Our Catholic faith teaches us that Mary is both Mother of Jesus and Mother of all humanity. We know that she became Jesus' mom at the Annunciation when the angel Gabriel appeared to her and asked her if she would be the Mother of God. She said yes, and by the power of the Holy Spirit, Jesus was conceived in her womb. But to discover when it was that Mary became Mother of us all, we need to go to the foot of Jesus' cross at Calvary. Let's take a look in the Bible to hear what was happening in the Gospel of John, chapter 19. Standing by the cross of Jesus was his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary of Magdala. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple there whom he loved, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to his disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her into his home. The disciple whom Jesus loved, that's mentioned here, was his disciple John. John understood from Jesus' words that not only was he to take Mary physically into his home to provide for her and protect her, but that John was supposed to take her into his heart as his heavenly mom. And the news gets even better for us, because Catholic tradition tells us that when Jesus was giving his mother Mary to John, the apostle, he was giving her to all of humanity. So that means that Mary is our Heavenly Mother, and we are her children. Mary has taken this vocation as our Heavenly Mom very seriously, and for the past 2,000 years, she has been actively helping her children to love Jesus and stay faithful to him. Mary always leads people to Jesus. She personally keeps a watchful eye on each one of us, especially when we ask her for help. She knows our weaknesses, our needs, and our strengths. She wants to guide us closer to Jesus so that Jesus can take us home to heaven. Mary is the perfect mother. Throughout church history, there are countless stories about how she has helped her children. I'd like to share today with you one of my favorite ones. It's the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Back in 1531 in Mexico City, Franciscan missionaries had arrived, hoping to share the gospel with the native Aztec Indians. But their progress was slow because the Aztecs were superstitious and fearful. They worshipped gods of the sun and moon, and thought they had to appease these gods by offering human sacrifices. The language barriers between the natives and the missionaries was also getting in the way of their progress. Despite all this, though, there were some conversions, and one of them was a peasant man named Juan Diego. Juan was grateful for his Christian faith, and he was an eager learner. Most days, he walked across Tepeyac Hill on his way to daily Mass, or to attend classes to continue his study in Christianity. On December 9th, 1531, as he was taking his usual route, our Blessed Mother appeared to him, saying, "Know for sure, my dearest, littlest, and youngest son, that I am the perfect and ever-virgin Holy Mary, Mother of the God of Truth. I want very much to have a little house built for me here, in which I will show him, I will exalt him, I will make him manifest. I will give him to the people in all my personal love, in my compassion, in my help, in my protection, because I am truly your merciful mother, yours and all the people who love me, who seek me, those who trust in me. Here I will hear their weeping, their complaints, and heal their sorrows. She asked Juan then to bring this request of hers to the local bishop. Excited and eager, Juan went straight to the bishop, who sent him away thinking that Juan had made up the story. But Mary appeared again to Juan to encourage him to go back to the bishop. This time, the bishop listened to him, but he demanded proof that this lady was in fact from heaven. He asked that roses appear on the top of Tepeyac Hill. Well, Juan knew that area very well. There were lots of craggy rocks and thorn bushes, and besides, it was winter time and too cold for flowers to grow. But Juan dutifully returned to the hill to tell Mary of the bishop's request. She listened to him calmly and then said, "That is fine, my youngest and dearest son. You will return here tomorrow so that you may take the sign asked for." When Juan went home that afternoon, his uncle, who had grown seriously ill, asked Juan if he would go to get a priest the next day to come and hear his confession. Worried for his sick uncle and thinking that he would die soon, Juan set out in the morning to get the priest for his uncle. Since he was in a hurry, he wanted to avoid seeing the lady, so he took a different route, going around the hill. But Mary appeared to him there. Juan was embarrassed, but he explained to her why he had avoided the hill. Mary again listened attentively to Juan, and then she said to him, "Am I not your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Am I not the source of your joy? Are you not in the folds of my mantle, in the crossing of my arms? Do you need anything more? Do not let your uncle's illness worry you, because he will not die now. You may be certain that he is well already." Then Mary instructed Juan to go to the top of the hill, collect the flowers there, and bring them back to her. Though Juan knew that top of the hill was unsuitable for flowers to grow, he obeyed and climbed to the top. And he discovered there the most beautiful array of Castilian roses in full bloom. He gathered up as many flowers as his coarse cactus fiber apron called the tilma could hold, and then he brought them back to Mary. Our Lady arranged them neatly in Juan's tilma, and then told him to take them to the bishop. Once again, Juan returned to see the bishop. He opened his tilma, and the roses cascaded out to the floor. The bishop and all those present in the room fell to their knees, because as they watched, a perfect image of Our Lady developed in Juan's tilma before their eyes. Juan had another message, too, for the bishop from Mary. Mary had told Juan to tell the bishop the name of this image. It was called Guadalupe, which in native Aztec language means the one who crushes the serpent. This image was full of Aztec symbolism, which without words told the native people a story that captivated their attention. I have an image here of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I'd like to share some of those symbols with you now. First of all, her robe is blue, and to the Aztec people, blue was a regal color, so this meant that she was royal. Also, her blue robe is lined in gold, and the only one in Aztec culture who wore gold was the emperor. So this told the people that she was in fact an empress. Married people in the Aztec world married women braided their hair. If you look at this image, Mary's hair under her mantle is loose. That told the people that she was a virgin. And there's a black tie above her waist, and in the Aztec culture, pregnant women wore that black tie. Another interesting feature is the stars on her robe. The Aztec people used the sky and the constellations for their calendar, so they were very familiar with the sky. And the position of the constellations, the stars on her robe, was the exact replica of the constellations in the position of the sky that day back in 1531. So this was a very important thing for the Aztec people to see. There have been whole books written on this image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, but I just wanted to point out a few of the features to you now. This image of the one who crushes the serpent deeply touched the hearts of many of the native Aztec people. And within a few years of these apparitions in 1531, 9 million Aztec people converted to Christianity, and the human sacrifices to their pagan gods ceased. Nearly 500 years have passed since Juan Diego was visited by our Blessed Mother on Tepeyac Hill. But today, Mary still continues to minister to her children who called upon her. Several million pilgrims every year visit Our Lady of Guadalupe Shrine in Mexico City. And the tilma is still there, and with its miraculous image on it, you can still see it. It's one of the most visited shrines in the entire world. Pope St. John Paul II named Our Lady of Guadalupe the Empress of the Americas, and her feast day is celebrated in our church every December 12th. Just as it is fitting to love and honor and show devotion to our natural mom, it is also pleasing and necessary to be devoted to our heavenly mom, Mary. The Catechism of our church tells us that devotion to Our Lady is an important part of our faith, and there are many ways we can show our devotion to Mary. We can celebrate her liturgical feast days. We can pray the rosary. We can wear a miraculous medal or the brown scapular. We can celebrate the 5 first Saturdays, which is something Mary had talked about and asked for when she appeared to the shepherd children in Portugal, Fatima, back in 1917. We can participate in a May crowning ceremony. And also, we can just talk with her as we go throughout our day, just keeping her in mind, talking with her in our heart, just like we talk to Jesus in our heart as we go through our day. Church tradition dedicates the whole month of May to our Blessed Mother. So this would be a wonderful time for us to consider how we might like to honor her and show her our love and our appreciation for being such a wonderful, awesome mom to us. And we'll have that special opportunity for the May crowning ceremony when it's live streamed from our church, May 3rd, next Sunday. And if you're wondering why exactly we actually crown the statue that we have at our church, I'd just like to share with you these last few thoughts. Going back to the Old Testament days, we see that in the different kingdoms, and there were many of them, it was not the king's wife who was crowned queen, but it was the king's mother. The king's mother was the only one who was allowed to enter into the king's presence without permission. And just as it was the responsibility of a good king to see to the needs of his subjects, so too it was also the role of the Queen Mother to recognize the people's needs and be their advocate before the king. Well, Jesus is our King, and Mary is our Queen Mother. She's always interceding for us before the throne of God. and her spouse is the Holy Spirit. So she has a lot of clout in the heavenly realm. She is our wise, powerful mom, loving and caring personally for each one of us, just as she cared for Jesus throughout his life, and how she showed loving concern for Juan Diego back in 1531. To know Mary is to love her, and we can never love her too much. This May, as we honor our earthly moms, let's make an effort to spend quality time with our heavenly mom, who says to each one of us individually what she said to her child Juan so long ago. Am I not your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Am I not the source of your joy? Are you not in the folds of my mantle, in the crossing of my arms? Do you need anything more? Let's go to our Mother Mary, and she'll lead us to her Son Jesus. Our Lady of Guadalupe, Empress of the Americas, pray for us.